The forges of Mordor have been busy. Hey, how's it going, guys? And welcome back to a new update video for Total War Rise of Mordor. The latest update is coming out, I believe, towards the end of next week, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled on the workshop. I'll leave it in a link down below. And in this update, we have received a whole wealth of new maps. I believe there's something like 4 new siege maps, as well as 2 new land maps. Rohan have just been added to the game. Is still very much in kind of like a basic stage right now. You can see there are only 3 units for Rohan, but they're starting to make an appearance, and this is one of the factions that the mod team are heavily working on at the moment. I believe they actually only have like one model person doing the 3D models at the moment, so you know, considering that's the case, they're doing an absolutely amazing job. I was also told before doing this video that Rohan and Mordor are very much a work in progress, so kind of imagine them as like a pre-evolution Pokemon. So as the mod gets more and more developed, you'll start to see these units getting their models reworked. As new assets are being made, they'll kind of be added to pre-existing models, as well as you know, kind of new ones that are going to be created to get new units. So right now, obviously, as I said, we have 3 new units for Rohan, and we'll just take a look at them. We'll jump in, we'll take a look at a few of the maps. We won't bother fighting any battles today because I just don't really feel like there's a need to it to do that. But we'll start off with taking a look at this map. This map you guys may have already seen. I've done a battle on it before, but now this is kind of like the first time that you guys can really dive in. And we'll take a look, let's just go ahead and take a look at some of the new units of Rohan. And they've got some really cool spears. Like these spear guards look very cool. And we'll take a look at some of the cavalry. And then I guess when we look at another map, we'll take a look at Mordor, because they've had a few of their units updated. I mean, we actually just take a quick look at them now, right? Yeah, you guys can see they've got new unit cards and a bunch of their units. They've got a few more kind of these Orc Pillagers. Their models have been updated with new armors. You got some Orc Pikes over here, some more Orc Archers. So they've got a ton more units in their army. I doubt we'll be able to see them, but I'll just do this and we'll take a look at Mordor in a second. So let's load into this map first. And I believe actually there was talk about the modder actually adding in an additional 2 maps, I think, before this release. So you guys might even see an extra one. And I think this is such a good thing that the mod team are working towards, because this is such a multiplayer focused mod at the moment, at least, you know, for the foreseeable future. This is going to mainly be what the mod is all about. I really love the way that they're just really diving into that and accepting that, and they're creating all of these epic maps, because I mean, just take a look at that. That's awesome. For a Gondorian outpost, that looks so goddamn cool. You can kind of really tell that this would be like a harbour city with ships coming in. And, you know, you've kind of got like a military outpost up here as well that the defenders can keep at bay. And then there's even a position back here they can fall back to. And I love when modders add in kind of like farmland situated throughout the city. It's really cool because it makes sense. You know, this is where the city gets its grain supply from these fields. And I always like to pick up on that, because it's great when the modders make the effort. You know, when you're looking at the movie Minas Tirith, it's like a lot of them people would just starve to death because ain't no way they got food to make them survive for very long. So let's take a look at a few of these Rohirrim units. So these are the lightly armored Rohan scout units. I guess we can even go ahead and click that as well so we can get rid of that. So you're not really going to be expecting much from these guys. These are literally, oh, come on, don't give me that speech. These guys are basically, you know, just going to be the lightly armored units you send out to kind of scout trees and explore. I believe they throw a javelin, so they're not exactly like they're wielding, you know, heavy armor or anything, or, you know, a very good great sword and shield. I really love the detail on these helmets, though. They look very, very good if we zoom all the way in. Yeah, the detail on the helmet is really nice. So these are basically just going to be kind of like the, you know, the standard cavalry kind of throw forward, maybe being 1 or 2 of them. And as I said, you know, as more assets get made for each of the factions, you'll kind of see them evolving, and, you know, these units will get, you know, maybe you know, different tunics or armor pieces, or, you know, etc, etc, new weapons, kind of, I guess, more spear variations and stuff. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're looking at these units. So these are, what are these, just like spear militia? The mustard spears. So yeah, just farmers who have been given a spear and a shield and told to go and defend the walls of Helm's Deep. I really do dig the spears. The spears look very nice, kind of very interestingly made. And definitely there's not really like any other factions that have these type of spears. And I think that's really important when you're creating each, faction in Middle-earth, is to have it so that, no weapon really feels like another weapon. No, another faction has that weapon. And then finally, we just have the basic boys. I'll go and spring them all the way back here. Oh, wait, we've already clicked play, haven't we? There's probably a better one on the road. Yeah, so these are just the basic boys right here. Mustard axes. They literally don't even have any like leather armor or anything. These are legit farmers and boys who have been sent to defend the walls. I cannot expect that they will last long, and they'll probably end up receiving maybe like a chest piece, some helmets or something extra to go ahead and give them a little bit of armor. So they're the first 3 units being added for Rohan, and it's awesome to see that they have made an appearance. I think that's going to be kind of the next factions that they're really working hard on is going to be, fleshing out Mordor and updating the models for Mordor and Rohan. I think that's what their plan is, because for the most part, we already have the whole of Dale has been done for a while. Yeah, we've added in some new units here and there. We have the Dunland tribes, which are basically done. Again, maybe a few more units here and there. The Eastlings, I think, have received maybe another unit or 2. They've got these halberds, but I think they were in the last patch. So the Eastlings have got, a couple more. Obviously, they're going to need to be a bit more fleshed out. The Dwarfs will need more units. Gondor has been done for a while, and, they look awesome. Harad is again a faction that needs a bit more love. Isengard has been done. So yeah, for the most part, and as you can see, as Mordor gets more and more developed, you're actually seeing kind of units being added in. So for example, the Mordor rabble has been given over to Isengard, and I'm sure it's going to be the case for a lot of the evil factions. As more and more of them get developed, they'll kind of seep their way in to the other things. So let's take a look at another siege map really quickly. Let's look at this one, because this is like a Harad or East. I think this is a Harad coastal settlement, and it looks awesome. And then we'll take a look at Mordor as well, because they've received, I think, a few more units. So let's just take kind of a bit of everything, so we can truly see them in all their glory. I believe there was a new chess piece being added for the I think it's maybe more like a chainmail than a chest piece for the forces of Mordor. One of the things that is not in this part of the patch, is something they're quickly trying to sort out before the release next week, is they're planning on adding in a lot more kind of neck defenses, if that makes sense, for these units. So let's just select everyone, we'll drop the siege equipment, and I'll just bring them over here so you guys can see in all their glory what they look like. So, a few of these units you probably would have already seen, but either way, we'll just kind of bring these guys in. God, it's so dark as well. Hopefully you guys can see that. My God, the lighting in Attila is just absolutely atrocious. That's a bit better, right? But it's still so dark for you guys. Hopefully you can see. So these units were always in the game. I think they're going to be getting an additional neck piece. So like is it like a gambit or something along them lines? I butchered that. But they're going to be getting neck pieces to go ahead and obviously protect them from that and kind of buff out their armor a bit more. So these orcs should be receiving a little bit more, heavily armored. For the most part, these Uruks look great. I love the heavy armor. They look really awesome. You obviously have the Orc Rabble, and I'm not sure how many of these units are going to be getting these neck pieces. I imagine maybe the Orc Rabble wouldn't, but a little bit more of the heavily armored units would be getting that. So yeah, let's take a look. We've got the Orc Warriors. These guys are, more lightly armored, but still ready to, get into battle. Not as good as the Uruks or anything. And as I said previously, I imagine like maybe a few more orc variants will be added. More armor pieces when they get added in will be kind of filtered on top of these units. We then have the Orc Pillagers, and there you go. You can see that first kind of orc piece of armor right there. One of the new ones that have been added, looking very, very nice. I imagine, obviously, as the modders, kind of, as I just literally said a second ago, add in more stuff. They'll kind of add in shoulder pads to this, and maybe leg defenses, new helmets and stuff. But it looks really cool. I love the new chainmail, and that's going to look awesome under a bunch of these, other armor pieces. For these Orc Pillagers, and I believe the Spearmen as well look great. I love the weapons for these Spearmen. That looks so cool. That looks really, really cool. That definitely reminds me of, like, Minas Tirith weaponry right there when they're besieging Minas Tirith. And they're like, pikes in front, archers behind. It looks so cool. Or was it the other way around? I can never remember. And then we have one of the newer units, again, is the Orc Pikes. Oh, they look awesome! Wow, yeah, I love... This is what the Mordor faction definitely needs. It's all these different weapon types. You know, some short pikes, some long pikes, some spiky, some kind of curved, some kind of just flat. That looks awesome. I am a huge fan of all these different pike variations, and as I said, it's definitely something that I think they need to add in for Mordor. You know, just kind of an absolute bunch of rabble who have just picked up and kind of been given whatever they've got access to. We obviously have the lightly armored archers right there with kind of like their rusty armor, nothing going to be of high quality in the for these orcs. And then finally we have the Uruk orcs again. You can see the armor a bit better over here in the light. And once again, they look, pretty goddamn awesome. I love the toe protectors as well down there. That looks cool. And the straps. And you always love it when the orcs go ahead and speak, speak English as well. That's perfect. So I think that's going to be kind of the main part. You can probably see the Uruk armor here. I think what they've done is they've made these tunics a lot more darker red as well. So they fit in more with the movie Uruks rather than kind of anything else. And yeah, I think it looks nice. The darker these tunics are, and obviously once they've received kind of their neck defenses as well, I think that'll really help out with them just kind of looking fully armored and ready to go. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, that's there's some really good improvements. So let's just take a look really quickly at like the last couple maps. I mean, there's a ton of maps. If you can just see right here, everything with like this Steam logo is a custom map. So we're going to take a look at this Vineland Outpost really quickly. But yeah, you have 4 maps here. And then if you go to Land Battle as well, you can see there are an absolute ton of maps, from Trollshore all the way up here. And each of these are kind of like, designed by the modders. So it's really, really, really nice stuff for Dead Marshes. Some have been in the mod for a little while. Some are kind of very much new. And as I said, I believe they're trying to get 6 maps out, siege maps out for you guys. So we'll have to see how, how that turns out. I think at most we'll be getting 5 new siege maps. But let's just quickly take a look at the Vineland Outpost, and then we'll probably call it there for the video. And obviously you guys can expect a ton of new battles on the channel with this new update. So that should be really exciting. I think one of the big things is I always, want to keep you guys updated with Rise of Mordor, but I don't want to be doing the same battle over and over again. So it's so nice when updates like this come out. And also, like, the summer is just around the corner. So a lot of these people working on this mod, have college, have jobs, So with summer, hopefully the people who have maybe just finished all their exams can go ahead and, maybe dedicate a little bit more time. Not that they aren't dedicating loads of time already. That's not what I mean to say. It's just like, so maybe they'll have a bit more spare time that if they want to, they can, spend a bit more time. This is an awesome mod. I mean, map, sorry. Look how awesome. I love the ditches. That's so cool. Like the defensive perimeter around the city. That's really nice. So I guess if you're attacking this, you either go through the choke point defense right here, which I imagine is a slaughter. Unless you can maybe break down some of these walls with artillery and go through the breach. Or you go all the way around and you deploy your men across, like, over here. You go across these river crossings. Obviously, you'll be getting ambushed probably by cavalry coming out of the woods. And then you break your way into the rear of the city. That's really cool. I love the design of this map. And it's very unique. So more of this stuff. And obviously, you have the kind of final stand. This map really reminds me of Medieval 2. I kind of feel like this is like a Medieval 2 style map. And it's awesome. It's great. This is the type of map I'd play in 3rd Age. So, yeah, I think that's going to be it for the update. I mean, there's obviously a bunch more maps that I could show you guys. But I think for the most part, that's going to be all the new units. You can see the new armor pieces. Rohan has obviously just been added to the game as well. And if you're looking to really fluff out this roster, there's a really good Rohan sub-mod as well, which is, currently on the workshop, which you guys can check out. But I'm super excited to see where Rohan goes. I'm super excited to see the development of Mordor as they, they add in more assets and you kind of upgrade the orcs. They're going to look very, very cool, I think, once they're done. fully, and maybe if we get trolls or, you know, Mumakil, or maybe even just like, you know, Sauron himself would be absolutely epic. I'm personally looking forward to when they get around to redoing the dwarfs, and I think I have seen a bunch of new assets for the dwarfs as well, so maybe they're just waiting for like a few more models to be done. But I've seen a bunch more weapons, and I think a couple more armor pieces like shields and stuff for the dwarfs, so that'll be very exciting once that's done as well. So I mean, I'm hoping this summer we'll be getting a bunch of Rise of Mordor content. I'm definitely looking forward to it, and obviously a massive shout out to the entire team working on this mod. I know it can be very, very difficult, you know, creating loads of stuff and having people flake. I think Rise of Mordor has definitely suffered from, you know, people working on the mod and then just not talking for like 4 or 5 months, and you can't access their work or anything. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's just the same for most mods, but for the most part, I think Rise of Mordor have suffered particularly from that. But, you know, the new team is really doing a lot of work, and they're creating some really awesome stuff. So I'm excited for the future, and hopefully the mod team are very, you know, gonna you know, just keep on working hard, and we can keep on getting these awesome updates, which I'm definitely looking forward to. So if you guys want to see more Rise of Mordor on the channel, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.